I'm a board certified dermatologist, and what I discovered making a skincare product disturbed me so much that I killed my entire brand even before launch. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how the entire skincare industry is based on small and giant lies that have become so normal, we've just accepted them. And at the very end, I'll tell you what I decided to do instead of launching a skincare product after I lost faith in the entire industry. So let's start at the beginning of my story. I decided that instead of spending all of my time criticizing other skincare products for being overpriced or marketing nonsense, as you guys know I love to do, it might make more sense to use my knowledge as a dermatologist to create a cheap and effective alternative for people. Sounds reasonable, right? Oh, Osama, you poor, naive, innocent, handsome fool. If only you knew what you were getting into. So I started searching for US manufacturers to make a retinol night cream, which is an ingredient I've been pretty obsessed with for the last few years, but which was kind of overlooked in traditional skincare products. Keep in mind that I'm saying retinol and not retinol, because I know that is already in 1,000 skincare products. They are different, but that is for another video. So I had conversations with two major manufacturers, and these people make skincare products for some of the most famous brands in the world, like Clinique and Tom Ford and hundreds of other brands which I know you guys would have heard of. And this is where it all started going wrong. In my very first conversation with one of these manufacturers, he said to me, "Oh, you're a doctor, so we should double the price and make it around $80. Now keep in mind, he had no idea what my product was at this stage. We hadn't even discussed the ingredients, and he was already off the bat talking about doubling the price. Next time you see a product that says Dr. Blah Blah serum and it's more expensive, that might have nothing to do with it being medical grade or being more effective. Just right off the bat, they know that they can double the price." The next thing he said to me after I mentioned my retinol cream was, "Oh, we already have some formulations with retinol in there. We'll just tweak the ingredients and we can put your name on it." So I said, well, no, because I have a really specific idea for what I want this product to be. I want it to be retinol, first of all, and it should have anti-inflammatory ingredients and various moisturizing ingredients, which I won't get into here. I explained to him that a product like that doesn't actually exist, which is the whole reason I'm trying to make it. So the guy looked at me like I was some kind of alien, and then started to actually get a little bit angry and was telling me, "Oh, well then listen, this is going to make your manufacturing time take way more months, and we have to stability test it, and we're going to have to start from scratch." To which I said, well, yeah, I'd kind of assumed that was going to be part of the project of making a new skincare product. So I left that conversation pretty stunned that this industry insider is telling me that the most normal thing for doctors and brands who approach him is to take a default formula, tweak it 1%, put their name on it, and pretend like it's groundbreaking. So I decided to go speak to the other manufacturer because I got kind of sick of this guy, and I thought, you know what, they must be better. And spoiler alert, they weren't much better. I was sitting down with their cosmetic chemist and I gave them a list of the ingredients that I wanted in my product. And she scanned the entire list and she looked up and she said, "Which one of these do you want to be clinical level and which ones do you want to be marketing level?" Now you might be asking yourself rightly, what does clinical level and marketing level mean? Well, the clinical level is the amount of the ingredient that you would actually need to be in your product to get the benefit that that ingredient is associated with. And the marketing level is if you put even a tiny drop of that ingredient into a giant vat of your product, you could still claim it on your product label, even if it doesn't do anything. And I'll be honest, I was genuinely offended. It seemed to me like she was asking, "Oh, are you an honest person or are you a liar?" So I replied that I wanted all of them to be at their clinical level, obviously, to which she seemed really surprised. So just remember, there is no legal requirement for a skincare brand to tell you whether or not the ingredients in their products are at a clinical or a marketing level. And there are some clues that people use, like looking at how high up on the list the ingredient appears, but even these are not an exact science. They don't give you a solid answer as to whether there is enough of that ingredient in your product to have the desired effect. But the manufacturer stuff was just the beginning. Wait until you hear what happened at the cosmetic chemist conference that I went to in New York. I thought to myself, where can I go to find other people who really care about the science behind these ingredients? So I headed to the New York Society of Cosmetic Chemists Suppliers Day Conference. It is a giant conference that is held once a year in the Javits Center in New York. And I was really pumped because I wanted to learn about the most cutting edge ingredients which I might not be aware of and which were going to change the game of skincare in the next few years. And there were hundreds of booths filled with people from all around the world coming together to talk about their exotic new ingredients. I spent 5 hours walking around the expo floor and I asked every person the same two questions. Number one, do you have any evidence that this ingredient helps on real human skin? And number two, how does this ingredient compare to the current gold standard? So whether that's retinoids, benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, whatever it might be for their category. Now you would imagine that the answers to those two pretty simple questions would be front and center in people's minds if they are there at a cosmetic chemistry conference. But almost always they would look hesitant and then they would say, "Wait a minute, I'm just gonna go get you our scientist." And I'd say, "Great, that's exactly who I want to speak to." And the scientist would then come over with one glossy sheet that at face value looked like some kind of impressive diagram. But then when I again reiterated those same two questions, I'm looking for evidence of whether this works in human skin, and number two, how does it compare to the current gold standard? And then they'd say, well, of course we do have answers to those two questions, but we're just going to email them to you after the conference. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm still waiting for those emails. And guys, I promise you, I wasn't going there to try to humiliate anyone. This wasn't, Dermatologist tries to own innocent business owner. But are the questions trying to find out whether an ingredient works on human skin and how it compares to gold standard not important? Well, evidently not, because the majority of people I spoke to at that expo only seem to care about what people love the sound of. That's what I kept hearing over and over again. Customers love the sound of our green tea whipped cream. Customers love the sound of our crystallized snail mucin, whatever it might be. They had the evidence for the marketing response to their ingredients. They just didn't have the scientific evidence to prove whether their ingredient did anything. So I left that day finding no new skincare ingredients that seemed genuinely more effective to me, but I did learn that Dubai chocolate cream with Labubu essence is going to be a viral hit in 2026. Now at this point I was already questioning everything, but nothing could prepare me for the horrors of product packaging and labeling. Now the most important thing for you to know is that there are two different types of claims skincare products can make on their packaging. A drug claim is anything that suggests your product is treating or preventing a skin condition or affecting the structure or function of the skin itself. Okay, well let's think about this. Don't we all buy skincare products because we think they are treating or preventing skin conditions like acne, pigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, or because we truly believe they're affecting the structure and function of our skin? If they're not doing those things, what are we actually paying for? Well, that's where cosmetic claims come in, and that is when a product claims to change the way your skin looks temporarily. Just to be clear, by making a cosmetic claim and not a drug claim, what the product is actually saying is that the benefits you perceive from using this product are an illusion created by this product sitting on top of your skin, and never because the product actually goes into your skin and does anything. Now, if you ask me, that sounds a lot more like makeup rather than skincare. In order to make a real drug claim for your product, you need to reach a much higher bar for evidence, and sometimes this can be really time consuming and expensive. And to be clear, this is a good thing. It should be harder to be able to make bigger claims. But the problem is most customers can't tell the difference between a drug claim and a cosmetic claim because the industry has developed 1,000 sneaky ways to dress up a cosmetic claim and make it look like a drug claim. Let's do a little quiz. I'm going to make 4 statements and I want you to guess which ones are the drug claims that actually claim to benefit your skin and which ones are the cosmetic claims. Number 1, medical grade peptides, clinically proven to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Number 2, stimulates collagen production, reducing fine lines and wrinkles. Number 3, Dermatologist developed retinol complex with prescription strength results in reducing the appearance of acne. And number 4, advanced bioresurfacing technology visibly proven to reduce the appearance of acne scars. Only one of these statements are actually drug claims and the other 3 are cosmetic, and I'm willing to bet that the one that impressed you the least is the drug claim, which is stimulates collagen production, reducing fine lines and wrinkles. If you look carefully and you filter out words like clinically proven or medical grade that actually have no legal meaning at all, what you'll notice is those other 3 statements talk about changing the appearance of a problem or visibly reducing something rather than actually changing the structure and function of the skin. But as you can see, it is so difficult to tell the difference between these. And I think this is a massive scam in the industry because I refuse to believe that the majority of people would buy a skincare product thinking it actually does nothing, but it temporarily makes my skin look better when I put it on top. That's not what people think they're getting. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, I had to face the final boss of marketing, the ugliest phase of the whole journey, and the part that really broke me. I actually did spend months making this retinol night cream, checking all the samples, perfecting the formula, making sure that it had the right clinical data so that I could make drug claims on the label. But to actually sell the thing, I found out that I'd need to become everything I hate about the skincare industry. Because here's how skincare marketing works. First, you have to grab someone's attention with things like Instagram ads, influencer collaborations, or TikTok shop affiliates. And then once they get to your landing page, you have to persuade them to buy your product using things like reviews, testimonials, and before and after photos. Now, it sounds fairly simple, but here's the problem. To get any meaningful sales, I would basically have to lie or exaggerate about my product to get it off the ground. Consumers are so used to seeing bold claims from skincare products that if I was the only person being truly honest at the beginning of my brand, and what I said was, theoretically, this product should work really great, I really love my samples, but I don't really know how many people this is going to work for, that would get me 0 sales. I don't even think my own mother would buy that product. But if I took part in the dark art of skincare marketing and I paid people to give me hundreds of 5-star reviews and I edited before and after photos or made them up completely using AI, at that point the sales would come rolling in, but then I wouldn't be able to sleep at night from guilt. And don't even get me started on TikTok shop, because that is even worse. That entire industry is based on the idea that people make false claims, but because it's an affiliate doing it by themselves, the brand has a bit of distance, and so they're less likely to get in trouble. They can say, hey, I wasn't the one who made that wild claim about my product. It was actually one of the affiliates, and I gave them a stern telling off after they did it and generated me 30,000 sales. And I kept imagining being on TikTok scrolling and seeing a creator talking about my product and saying, "Run, don't walk to this retinol night cream. It gave me skin like a glazed mirror donut baby." And I would know that there's no way this person tried it for long enough to get those results and they're purely making it up. So for a while I thought, you know what, I will just stick to my own organic marketing on this YouTube channel here. But here's where the math ended up killing that idea. At the beginning, when you're manufacturing a skincare product, you make basically the minimum number of units you can to see if anyone wants it. And that is around 5,000 units with most manufacturers. Now, when you're making them in smaller batches like this compared to other companies who do 100,000 at a time, for example, it means that the unit cost of each product actually gets quite expensive. And in order to make it make any sense, I would have had to charge around $40 per cream. So then I had to ask myself, how would I feel telling the people who trust me the most, who are people subscribed to this channel, that they should spend $40 on my retinol night cream, where I don't actually have the data that it is better than alternatives made by people like CeraVe or La Roche-Posay, which are available for half that price. And ultimately, I just couldn't get past that last phase. I wasn't willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a trial to prove this product was better than the alternatives, and then I felt too guilty recommending it to you guys when there may be alternatives that are better for even cheaper. So I killed my skincare brand before it even began, but I ended up deciding to do something even more radical that I think is going to help people with skin problems 10 times more than any product could. Rather than selling a skincare product for $40, instead I'm now selling myself as a personal dermatologist for $30 over messaging. Because when I thought about it, my whole mission at the beginning of this was, how do I really help people with their skin problems? And the only way that I have hard, solid data that I know how to do that is by being a dermatologist. I've seen 10,000 patients in my career. Now, usually the problem there is coming to see a dermatologist is expensive and I'm only in one location, so people around the country can't come to me. But now, because I'm available as a personal dermatologist over chat, any one of you who are in America can click the link below and you can start a conversation with me and get real dermatology care from me directly. Right now, it's a $30 a month subscription to have me in your pocket, and you can message me 24/7 as many times as you like about anything dermatology related. As I mentioned, it's not just general advice. I can genuinely be your doctor and prescribe you medications, give you refills, whatever it is you might need, and you can cancel whenever you want. So imagine you subscribe, you do 15 appointments with me in the first week, and at that point you're like, cool, I have everything I need. You can cancel and you'll only ever pay $30 once, and that's it. Now, to be totally honest, I'm probably gonna have to increase that price as demand rises, because it genuinely is me who is delivering the care and I'm a finite resource. But once you've signed up, your rate is locked in forever. And I'm genuinely so excited about this because I think it is the future of healthcare, where people are going to have doctors in their pockets who they trust, who they can go to at all times without having to wait months for an appointment. And because it's over chat with photos, it means I can help thousands more patients across America than I ever could in a single clinic. And I don't have to sell out my morals or feel guilty, because I know I'm delivering real value at like 10% of the cost of a single dermatology visit, which means I can sleep peacefully at night. Well, peacefully until one of you texts me about your acne at 3 a.m.